Thanks so much, Jim. I appreciate you creating this stage for us to share. I think this time of being in our own spaces and yet together, actually more in these online connections, is highlighting that we need to understand ourselves and we need to understand each other. And I know that as I was growing up, it was always a challenge for me. Great in all the academic stuff, but those pieces around understanding each other were a challenge. And I think that's why I went ahead and got a degree in computer science, but also in neuropsych, and followed up that with different kinds of coaching studies, because I really want to understand what makes people tick so that they can come forward and express more of their best self, right? So I really want to share today about the Enneagram and what it can do for us in terms of recognizing where we are and where we want to go. So let me just share here. There we go. I think especially as entrepreneurs, we have a vision of good we want to do in the world. Actually, I think most people choose their career in some way based on the good that they want to do. But we have a sense of what's possible. And out of all that's out there for creating a better world, what's mine to do? What is my role to bring forward? So we figure out, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing. And we start out with the vision, our vision of the world that's a reflection of that greater thing, right? And we start building toward it. And you know what? It's an uphill climb, and we figure out how to do it, and we grow in the process. We gain new skills. We have the ability to do things that we couldn't do before until we actually come up to the top of this mountain. And here we are doing our thing and doing it well and growing a successful business in that. And then what tends to happen is it's kind of like not so much fun. And now we have to spend more time on the business than on the thing that we love. And pretty soon we're bringing on board other people, and golly, coordination isn't that much fun. And we've kind of crested over into this slippery slope of, well, I'm still doing the thing, I'm successful with it, and I love doing my thing. But the truth is, most of my day isn't that fun, and I'm not quite sure what happened. And as we slide down, we find ourselves in the maintenance mode, which was never really our intention. It wasn't what we wanted to be doing. And yet, it's what we find ourselves doing in support of the memory of that vision that we had for a better world. To me, this is a portal. And I bring this up because I also see this time when our world has kind of like gone to our own rooms and we're thinking about it. We're thinking about where we've been, where we might want to go, and what's been going on. And the truth is, at this point, we have a choice to make. We can use this stress, I called it burnout because that was so last month, but the truth is any stress. We can use it as a state that actually traps us into a pity party, into golden handcuffs of doing this thing that we don't really enjoy because, oh my gosh, the money. And that's not the way that I think that we are intended to live our lives. I think that there's another option here. And I call that using the stress as a stage. Yes, I am here. Yes, I acknowledge this is what's going on. How can I use this as a portal that's actually going to let me grow into another level? Let me show up more conscious, with more capacity to serve the world and to give my gift in the world. So what is that portal that's actually going to set me free? That's the piece that I want to talk about here today, because When we look at the Enneagram, which is an ancient system, too often right now, people are looking at it as a pop psychology quiz. Oh, what type are you? Oh, I'm this. And if you don't happen to know your quiz yet, I recommend whoa, if you don't know your type yet, I recommend the assessment at trueself.io. trueself.io, because that assessment gives you a good representation, but it also has lots of background information that says how this might come to be and how to work with it and how to work with people of other types. And I have no connection with that. That's just my recommendation. If you want a personal analysis of your type, I'm available for typing interviews, but go get the free one first, right? So the Enneagram itself is a representation of 9 different ways that our soul comes onto this planet to have a certain quality of experience. Some of us are here to live through our hearts, to give to the world, to create in the world. Some of us are here more to study and learn and engineer something new, the visionaries that can see it in their mind before it comes to reality. Some of us are here to be fully embodied in the immersion of life on earth and what's possible as we lead toward something with more beauty, more perfection, and have that sense of community. They're all beautiful, beautiful paths, and they're all different. This was part of a cracking open for me when I realized I'm basically an engineering head type person. I'll own it. I have a huge heart. I love to give. I love my people. I love to dance and be in my body. And I orient through my head. And I kind of thought everybody did. They don't. They don't. The Enneagram was my place to discover that other people are not like me. And that's such a damn good thing. So that's why I use this tool as my way to help other people orient to discovering who they are more deeply so that they can express the best of themselves out in the world. So I have a little ebook that I'll give you the URL for at the end that goes through all of the types. With today being kind of a shortened talk, I don't have time to go through all the types. So I picked 3. Let's see. Okay, let's go to that. The type 1 is not 1, but type 2. So people who come in with this kind of an orientation to the world often show up as healers, therapists, chefs. They are the givers. Their natural tendency is, what do you need? How can I help you? I want this for you. I want you to feel better. I want you to feel happier. And what can happen in this giving mode is actually overgiving, right? I know you're going to need this, so let me give it to you. You didn't even ask me to make you dinner, but here it is. And then there's this subtle, subtle place of, do you like it? Did you say thank you? Really subtle way. And that's, more in unconscious expressions. But this giving in order to be connected, in order to be needed, can actually tip over into needing to be indispensable. And when I'm in that, I need to be indispensable, I need to be needed, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure you like me, to make sure I've given you more than enough, to have been so generous because now you'll need me. I'm exaggerating a little, and yet when we're honest on a subtle level, it's there. And that actually becomes an addiction. So in order to recognize how that has trapped us into this burnout state, well, I couldn't possibly do group because I just love people one-on-one or whatever it is. We need to notice, like catch ourselves. Busted. Look, I just gave away way more value than what I was receiving back, energetically, financially, whatever. I keep doing this, I keep looping in giving so much away. My service tips over into sacrifice. Oh, there I did it again. There I did it again. Oh, that's a pattern. You know what? That pattern is not who I am. When I allow that pattern to dissolve, I have the opportunity to up-level my expression of the truth of my essence. When the pattern dissolves, something more authentic can emerge, and I'm more able to nurture myself as well as others. So it's a more full giving in the world. Okay, so that's somebody who's coming from that point 2. Let's look at another one. I have time for all of them. Point 4, I wanted to talk to this one because the people who are living as the individualist have come in with creativity out the wazoo. They've come in as our intuitive, sensitive people. They are so in touch with the emotional depth that can be reached. I really kind of don't like those people who just are superficial and live on the surface and so shallow, right? So if I have come in, I may be expressing this as a graphic designer, as an intuitive healer, as a therapist, or some sort of companion on the journey to the depths. Artists often will show up as type 4. And what happens is I'm feeling so much and it's so intense. And truly, most of our society doesn't have time for that all the time. But I start to think I'm different. I'm outside. I don't even really belong here. Nobody gets me. And when I'm so outcast, I can look and see, well, they're all having a nice dinner talking superficially, but nobody really gets me. I don't belong. And there's this separation that we create in our own minds. And when I fantasize, if only they would get me, we could all live more deeply. Or I fantasize, well, I could be like this idealized image too. We get stuck, right? If I just try harder, well, that's going to land you right back in burnout. So the portal for this type is to go, oh, when am I doing that negative thing? She's good at public speaking and I'm not. Or look how wonderful that community is and I don't belong. Oh, wait, I did that again. Look at how perfect her art is and mine just doesn't measure. Oh, wait, busted. When I recognize that's the pattern that's running, again, I can let that pattern fall away. The more light I put on it, it can't stand up to the light. When I look at it, it falls away and something more authentic emerges. And I'm able to say, you know, when I can use everything in my life as a potential for growth, it's actually happening for me and it's happening for you. Let's go on the growth journey together because I can really be there and hold you in your journey too. I am now an inspired and aware intuitive creator. You see how that more authentic essence can come through, but not until I let that negative comparison go. I want to look at one more. Okay, we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. The other one I wanted to talk about is point 9, the peacemaker. These are people who are mediators in our world. Again, they may be like relationship therapists. They might be working with groups of people, community leaders, and so on. And these people have such a gift to feel into what's good for the whole. What's actually going to make a difference, the most difference for the most people for a long time, and to feel the perspectives of people on different sides. But what can happen is they're so attuned to everyone else and they're feeling out, they kind of forget somebody in the room. they can forget themselves. And if they forget themselves, then they kind of get lost and they can go into details and inessential things and helping somebody else before they take care of themselves and tune out. They kind of go to sleep to their own needs and start daydreaming about, well, it could be better over there and what would be possible if. Now, the dreams are beautiful, but being caught in the dreaming is a leak, right? It's a leak of the life energy. So when I can notice that I'm not really in the experience and being affected and feeling it in my body, oh, there I go again. I'm fantasizing. Oh, I've gone to sleep. Come back and be here. I can become the self-possessed guide that really is able to participate in those life experiences much more deeply and make that difference, bring that social justice, be that activist that doesn't burn out. So then I'm able to be the essence that I was intended to be from the beginning. So those are 3 different examples. As I say, there are 9 different ways that people come in the Enneagram. And the Enneagram is a whole study unto itself. If you would like to see how your type, if it wasn't one of those 3, shows up, here's a link to a little comic book that I made using these highly technical descriptions and graphic design things, just to help people understand. Because what's important in my world is that you show up and really, really give your gift in the world too. You matter. You matter in my world. Please learn yourself, use this time, go deep, and come back strong.